Hello, everybody. I'm Chase Johns. Welcome to Cut the Chase Sports Podcast. So we bring a unique insight and analysis for your favorite sports at the high school, collegiate, and professional levels. I am Chase Johns, as I said before. Just waiting for Brady King to get on when he can. Jake had to cancel tonight just due to some last minute college things, which we obviously understand when it comes to that. We got some topics to talk about today. Obviously the NFL in week 11 right now. Thursday night football game. The Patriots and Falcons are about to play in just a couple of moments, actually. TV, I got the game on right over here in front of me. And then, college football week 12. We got some big games coming on with that. On Saturday, a couple of games going on tomorrow night that are in the top 25. You got Memphis and Houston, and then you got San Diego State taking on UNLV. We'll kind of hop around when it comes to all of that stuff. And then we'll also take a look at, some fantasy football insights with, I just want to start off saying this. My fantasy team, wow, this is kind of me rambling on about this, but my fantasy team, I've had like one ad drop this entire season. How the hell am I 9-1? I just wanted to really put that out there. How the hell am I 9-1 in fantasy with one ad drop? And I have a bunch of players that are in like the top 50, and on my bench it's all 50s and 60s ranked, 60th ranked people on there. And in NFL.com league PPR, 9-1, but just looking at my fantasy struggles in other leagues, 4-6. I'm looking at that team right now. Heck, I'm just reading through stuff right now. Kirk Cousins, Mark Ingram. I still have Derrick Henry in my lineup, even though he hasn't played a game in like 2 or 3 weeks. Emmanuel Sanders, Justin Jefferson, T. Higgins is over there. Same with DeAndre Swift. This is just an abysmal team. And Russell Wilson's back. Keep forgetting that, but I'm just going to ride the Kirk Cousins train out. And then ESPN fantasy, man. This is just abysmal. Cooper Kupp's on a bye this week too. So, yeah. There we are. What's up? I was reading through my fantasy football lineups and how just weird they are,
Oh yeah.
That's really what all was going on, stuff like that. But yeah, just some stupid stuff, to pass time for your great entrance coming in.
Right.
Just like that, we're gonna hop right into college football, right up your alley. Talking in a little bit. Jake's not on tonight, due to some college paper stuff. But yeah, let's get this thing started, and I'm gonna let you take it away with the the most anticipated matchup of the weekend in the nation, and especially in the state of Ohio. Michigan State, Ohio State. Have at it.
All right. So obviously big noon kickoff. Maybe not the time people would want it at. Kind of weird that such a big game's at noon, just like the Oregon game. I wish I didn't bring that up because we didn't win. But
hopefully.
But it's definitely a huge game. Probably the best team we've played this year. On like Oregon's the most talented team we play, but this team has been gluing together the best for sure out of the teams we played thus far. And another good passing attack. Honestly, I would say this is probably the second best offense in the Big Ten we're going against.
Yep.
With Heisman candidate / leader, whatever you want to call him, Kenneth Walker. This game really decides the Heisman for him. If he explodes, he probably wins it. If he doesn't, he has a shot. So it's a make or break for Kenneth Walker. Our DBs have been playing really well, corner-wise, safety-wise. I don't want to speak on that.
We've already mentioned it a couple of times. Every episode, I believe.
Yeah, I've already violated the same guy way too many times, so I'm not even going to mention his name, but he is not good. So hopefully we can get some consistent pressure. That's going to be massive. I think if we can get pressure, they have no shot to win because I don't think they'll really stop us because actually Michigan State has statistically the worst pass defense in the nation. And
well, that works out for us.
You know who has the best pass offense in the nation. And it's they're going head to head this week. So obviously there's much worse pass defenses out there than Michigan State, but because everyone tries to throw it on them so much, like Purdue, that 536 yards or whatever it was really hurt that pass defensive number.
Oh yeah, O'Connell.
Even Michigan threw for a good amount on them, but we should be able to exploit them a little bit. Run defense is really good for them though. It's one of the better ones for sure in the Big Ten. But Tavion Henderson all he needs is a crease, and he can really explode up that crease. He's much faster than Kenneth Walker, but not as big. Kenneth Walker's still fast. It's just I'm pretty sure Tavion Henderson's much faster than any other running back.
Different types of backs and all that. Yeah. Different types of backs and some different type of schemes is what goes on with both of those offensive lines and all that. Yeah.
So it's more of a zone team, and Michigan State, I believe, is more of a how do I say this? I can't think of the word right now, but it's where there's one hole that the ball only can go through,
just the power blocking.
The gap scheme.
Okay,
It's more of a gap scheme. Ohio State's more of a zone, read up the blocks, get type of. And then, but overall, do I need to give my prediction or just?
I mean, I was just gonna, go through some of the guys' stats right now.
Okay, go ahead.
Both teams. You got first looking at Michigan State. Quarterback Peyton Thorne, 2,460 yards. 26 in the nation, 21 touchdowns to 8 interceptions, and 76.0 quarterback rating. This year, and then obviously, their guy Kenneth Walker. 227 carries for 1,473 yards and 17 touchdowns. I mean, that's impressive. That's pretty impressive. I can't really say a whole lot about that. I mean, I'm excited to watch these two running backs, especially go at it on Saturday. And then Jaden Reid, junior receiver, 45 catches, 829 yards, and 7 touchdowns. Michigan State's leading receiver. They had another. They had another receiver though that had a really big game against Rutgers, or was this
Jalen Naylor actually was the other receiver.
Okay, that's what I thought.
He's also a threat. And then they actually could have Ricky White, who actually had 220 receiving yards against Michigan last year, but tore his ACL or something before the season.
Oh wow!
But want to hear some comedy?
Yes, let's hear it.
Michigan State, reporters, claim that they have the best wide receiver room in the Big Ten.
Aren't they in for a big one on Saturday?
Over the team that's backup wide receiver is now easily the best receiver in the SEC.
Wow. East Lansing running a little woo-woo, know.
The team who literally one of the fastest players in the nation, probably the fastest, and is going to be a first-round pick, could not start at because there's 3 first-round picks starting ahead of him. Because pretty much it's a lock at this point that Olave will stand and Njiba's going to go first round too when he gets his time.
But he's going to have his time to be the number 1 though, which is very nice.
Oh yeah, he'll go first round easily. I mean, he's doing this as the number whatever you want to call him. I mean,
1C, I don't know.
He's 1C exactly, 1B maybe even.
I mean,
he's 1A. He's the leader.
Heck, they have 3 receivers that go for 1,000 yards this year. I mean, that's what I saw an article about that, how they could literally break that in the next 2 games. So Ohio State's definitely got a big opportunity, and a big part of it right now, obviously those 3 guys, but they got to have someone dealing the ball, which is CJ Stroud, 214 of 311, 3,036 passing yards, 30 touchdowns to 5 picks, a 6 touchdown to 1 interception ratio. We'll take any ratio like that any day. And then when your running back, Tavion Henderson, is running the ball, 141 carries for 1,035 yards, roughly 9 yards a carry and 14 touchdowns. Talk about a balanced attack. Wow. Just wow. I mean, this is 2 of the best running backs in the country right now. They're going up against each other. And then we have a significantly better quarterback. It just kind of depends if Michigan State's able to do some things right in the run defense and try to force some turnovers, but they are the worst pass defense. And then if they get Peyton Thorne to, play in a rhythm and stuff like that, but the Ohio State defense has been coming alive since Kerry Coombs has, been taking the duties away from his job. Thank the good Lord Jesus for that one. But, And
Yeah,
then
that was-
you look at the leading receiver for us though, Jackson Smith and Jigba. I'm just going to read all three of these receivers' stats right here because these are all impressive. 59 catches for 1,027 yards and 5 touchdowns for Jackson Smith and Jigba this season.
Ooh.
1,000 yards from him, and then you got Garrett Wilson, who missed the game, 53 catches for 813 yards and 9 touchdowns, and then you got Chris Olave with 51 catches for 708 yards and 11 touchdowns. What can't this receiving corps do?
Who's the best receiver? You got the one with the most touchdowns, the one with the most yards, or the one that missed a game and looks the flashiest and probably is the best, like overall?
I don't know. I could literally do a blind pick, and I have 3 of them in front of me. I'd say eeny, meeny, miny. Just go through that whole type of thing. I don't.
Or Jameson Williams.
Jameson Williams.
Yeah.
You know, but
I don't think it's him. But
we've talked about Jameson Williams a lot on this.
We have
a lot.
I mean, all I said is he's not good. Is he was. I never really said he was bad. I just said he was not better than Jackson Smith and Jigba, which.
He's not better than the 3 of them, so I mean,
I still don't think he is. I still don't think he's better than any of them. I get it.
We need to have him on the show.
We do. I've been on his live video, like I said.
Yeah, we need to have him on the show. So
honestly, I'm tired of him. The only reason I have to talk about him so much is because, if he would just mind his own business and say, good luck to us, cool. But he keeps bringing up Ohio State.
Okay, we've got to find a way to reach out to him, get him on the show. That's gonna happen. We gotta get
his dad gets in the comment section and starts complaining and talking about how Jameson's better than a lot.
Hell, we'll have his dad on the show. Why not?
Let's have his dad. Yeah.
Why not?
Because he says these things that are just stupid. Like he's better than Garrett Wilson and Olave. Just watch. What do you mean? Just watch. I have watched. You've made us. We're done watching because he was on their team. They both started. They all 3 were in for pretty much the same amount of plays. Who was better? Literally, the other 2 were so much better.
And I don't see why he would care because, we've mentioned this many times, they're all doing good.
They're all great.
There you go. They're all doing very good.
Round. Yes. 4 guys.
Yes. So I don't see why there is much of an argument right now. They're all doing very well. Blah blah. I mean, okay, they start arguing in April where guys should be drafted, but right now it's football. You're trying to win a championship. Yeah, that's what it is. But moving along to that, to Alabama. Arkansas plays Alabama on CBS, 3:30 p.m. We'll get picks and right after I wrap this stuff up with these next couple of games. So Arkansas 7-3, Alabama 9-1, 3:30 p.m. CBS. Alabama favored by 20.5. I mentioned Ohio State is actually favored by 19, which is actually a very big surprise. That's a 7 versus 4 game right there.
I'll be cool if we win by a touchdown. That's all I'm going to say.
I was thinking 7 or 8 points, but
if we can just win the game, I don't get why this.
That's all that matters. That's all that matters, and that's when we'll get to our picks and predictions just a little bit. But looking at Arkansas, looking at those stats right there, I'll let you kind of break that down if you want to in a minute. KJ Jefferson, 6'3", 245-pound sophomore, 1,990 yards, 17 touchdowns, 3 interceptions this year. So pretty good touchdown interception ratio. Running back, Traylon Smith, 101 attempts for 513 yards and 4 touchdowns, averaging 5.1 yards a carry. And at the receiving end, Traylon Burks, 51 catches for 796 yards and 8 touchdowns on the year. Okay numbers, but when you look at these Bama guys, those look like very, very poverty numbers when it comes to Bryce Young. 3,025 passing yards, 33 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and an 86.9 quarterback rating. Okay, well, and then we look at just plug and play running backs. Brian Robinson Jr., 164 attempts, 823 yards, 14 touchdowns on the season.
He's their guy.
Put anybody back there, and they're going to do fine. And then this guy, Jameson Williams, 51 catches, 1,028 yards, and 10 touchdowns, averaging 20.2 yards a catch. The definition of a deep threat. So,
I mean, it's not surprising that he averages that much, just because. I mean, in Ohio State, he probably averaged more than that per catch last year, even just because he would catch the ball. I like the guy. He was a nice receiver for us when we needed him. Obviously, he's really good, and I'm sure. Let's say this year he stayed, and let's say next. I'm not saying he should have. I don't think he should have. He made the right decision. And let's say he stayed next year, he would have been great. He'd probably end up being a star within Jibba. next year, like a deep threat. But stuff happens.
I agree. I definitely agree. But do you have any initial thoughts on Arkansas and Bama? It just seems like Bama, whenever they play a home game, it's kind of
home, right?
It's kind of hyped. Bama normally just takes care of business and waxes the floor with those teams.
I mean, let's be honest. It's Arkansas versus Bama. You got 3 stars versus 5 stars. Nick Saban versus what's his name? I can't think of the dude's name.
You think I'm gonna know his name?
Well, the Pittman, Arkansas's coach, and then you put all of that together. Alabama, what are they favored by? They're favored by a lot, right?
20. Sam Pittman, yeah, sorry. 20 points. Yep.
So that's saying that I think Vegas believes that Ohio State is better than Alabama because Michigan State would be favored by more than 1 point against Arkansas. So, that's a nice sign because Vegas are smart people. But, this game overall, I mean, I honestly I think Alabama's going to whoop them. I don't think it's going to be a good game, really. It shouldn't be that hyped. I don't know how Alabama was that bad against LSU. The fact that they're ranked number 2 is a complete joke based on what they've been. Obviously, they have the potential to be around there. They're clearly – but that's the problem. It's not based on potential. It's based on how you've done and how you've looked. So number 2 is ridiculous, but I think they play really good this week. Jameson Williams will probably have I don't know, a good game. Probably a 180-yard touchdown, 2 other catches. Will be over 100 yards just because he had that 80-yarder. And then overall, I'm just saying the matchup favors Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
On both sides of the ball, Alabama's better than. But I will say one thing: Treylon Burks. He's probably a top 10 receiver in the nation. He's a borderline first-round pick on a lot of mock drafts. I would probably take him in the second, and I'd say he's probably the SEC's number 2 receiver.
Mm-hmm. I'd agree right there. I definitely got to keep an eye on that, especially after the Ohio State game is on and everything. Hopefully we're not sad and sorrow with tears and stuff like that, but I have hope on Saturday. Let's keep it at that. And then I don't have a whole lot to say on that game, but hopping to the nightcap, I know you'll have a little more to say on this one. Oregon plays at Utah, 7:30 p.m. on ABC. This is a big one. This is a big one for really the entire nation, for the state of Ohio, because Ohio State that's going to be worrying about this game if they can take care of business on Saturday, and then you've got really everybody behind Oregon.
I would say this game. I would say it's quite a bit bigger for Cincinnati than it is.
That's what I was about to get to. So you got Ohio State. Ohio State if they take care of business, don't have to worry. Cincinnati though, there you go.
Because I want a rematch with them, and we're getting it either way if we win out. If we can just play them again, I would be so happy, so happy. 3 versus 2. I mean, I don't see us having it. There's no way we lose. Especially with revenge, us being the better team. Our D line would just have anger on their faces looking at the O line that took care of business.
And not to mention, CJ Verdell is out for the year.
Well, yeah, he
had 3 touchdowns against us. So.
What else? Did anybody else do a thing? No, literally, it was just him.
I think one tight end scored a touchdown, but that was really about it.
And
Verdell had 3 touchdowns. He had 3 big touchdowns.
Guess who the fake was to on that tight end touchdown?
Verdell.
And
he was their offense.
Guess who ran up that wouldn't make the tackle anyways?
Oh, we already know who that answer
was. The DB that I said I wouldn't.
We already know who that answer was.
Left the tight end wide open.
We need to get him on the show too and talk about this shit with him. We need.
He's actually friends with Jameson, and Jameson, when we play Alabama, if we do, I mean, he'll probably have a touchdown against his former team because
he'll probably gift him an 80-yard.
He'll probably run deep, and he'll probably be beating our corner by a little bit because it happens. You need some help, and then that he who must not be named will probably not be where he's supposed to be, and he'll just score a touchdown. It'll be pretty annoying, but
we're used to it with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll just get Jameson Williams and Bryson Shaw on the show.
You said it.
Why not? Why not?
You said Bryson Shaw.
Yeah.
We weren't gonna name him this show.
Oh, we weren't?
Well, it's fine. I was just playing around.
I didn't know if we had some type of message. Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
no, it doesn't matter.
Wow, I just looked at the
Bryson
ESPN,
still sucks. That's all.
ESPN Football Power Index, and Utah is actually favored 61.8% to 38.2%. I didn't even notice that. Wow. Yeah. Looking at the game right now. Anthony Brown, 2,030 passing yards, 12 touchdowns with 4 picks. And a 71.6 quarterback rating this year. Pass rating and quarterback rating are different. Travis Dye, 152 carries, 908 yards, and 12 touchdowns. Wonder what Riddell's stats would be if he was actually still healthy. And then wide receiver Devin Williams, 23 catches for 349 yards and 2 touchdowns, 15.2 yards a catch. And looking at Utah on the other side, I think Cameron Rising, 1,752 yards, 14 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and an 82.6 QBR. And then Tavion Thomas from the Dayton area went to Dunbar in high school. He was committed to Oklahoma, and then he played at Cincinnati, and then he found himself over here in Utah, over in Salt Lake, and he's had a pretty good year. 122 attempts, 742 yards, 14 touchdowns, and 6.1 yards per carry. He's played pretty well, and I think he's going to be an X factor in this game. 6.1 yards a carry, though. Wow. But yeah, he actually wasn't. He actually didn't. I don't think he played last Saturday against Arizona. But yes, and then looking at it, Brant Kuwith, I think. I don't even know how to really pronounce that name because I've never heard of this guy before. Tight end, 36 catches for 369 yards and 5 touchdowns and 10.3 yards per catch. That is their leading receiver, the tight end.
For Utah?
For Utah, yes.
The leading receiver is the tight end with 300. Wow.
Yeah, that's their guy. That's their guy.
I know he has a daily record we have for Utah.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. He would.
He probably doesn't even have 200 yards.
Probably not with all those guys. With all the guys we got on offense on the outside. What do you got any initial thoughts on this Oregon Utah game? Other than that, it's a big game for literally the state of Ohio for both ways.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like the outcome to me doesn't really matter that much. Like if Oregon loses, whatever, we don't get revenge. But if they win, like we might have another chance at them. Either way, it's fine. But for Cincinnati, it's huge. I mean, if Oregon loses, Cincinnati arguably has almost controls their own destiny. I don't really see much of a scenario unless like if Michigan and Michigan State end up with one loss, then they would put Michigan and Michigan State in as the 2 Big Ten team playoff. But then there's also the scenario of Alabama beating Georgia. There's all these things that could happen, but it's a huge help to Cincinnati. And then one thing about Utah is they're like transfer QBU. They have 3 transfer QBs. Their 3 QBs are transferred. Oh, wow. Cameron Rising from Texas, Jaquindon Jackson from Texas, and Charlie Brewer from Baylor. So they went in the state of Texas.
I heard it. I remember Brewer. I do remember that.
Yeah, I believe he's still in the team. And then last year, their QB was Jake Bentley from South Carolina. So they always have transfer. They have so many transfer QBs down at Utah.
Sounds like it. Last chance you for quarterbacks. Wow.
Yeah. So I couldn't really tell you who's going to win because I'd be lying if I said I've watched a second of Utah football this year. But I've heard that they look good enough to beat Oregon, so I'm gonna say they definitely have a shot.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And just as I was looking through my feed, I just realized that Ohio State lost to Xavier. Oh, great!
They lost. They
lost. Yes, they did. They lost.
I was actually watching some of that.
Yep, lost 71-65. That is unfortunate. I will now it's only the early season, so I will now sit in my room and just think about life. No, I'm just kidding. We'll keep going on. We'll keep going on. Good for the city of Cincinnati, 5-1-3, baby. Let's go. But yeah. Before we get into picks, I just wanted to ask, is there like a surprise game or like someone that should be on upset watch this week that you think?
Official upset watch. I mean, Kansas State, Baylor. I mean, Kansas State actually might be favored, but Baylor, who just beat Oklahoma, could definitely lose.
Yeah, that's a weird one. That's a 5:30 kickoff time. 5:30 kickoff time.
Oh,
from at Bill Snyder Family Stadium. That's just Kansas State is actually not favored. Baylor is.
Oh, they're not favored. Okay. Last time I checked,
55% right there. Actually, no. So on the ESPN Football Power Index, Baylor is favored.
Oh.
But in the Vegas line, Kansas State is favored by 1. You are.
Oh, well, yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, they're favored by 1.
I was pretty sure they were favored by like a point. That's why.
Yeah,
but
so it's
technically
not by much, but yeah.
But technically, that'd be an upset considering, or wouldn't really be an upset, but it'd kind of be an upset considering Baylor's like 11 and Kansas State's not ranked. But another team that could potentially get upset is Clemson, who's actually favored against Wake Forest. I think they'll get upset.
Is that so?
Yeah.
Clemson is favored again. Oh yeah, they play at noon.
Yeah, I think
by 4.5. Wow.
I mean, I won't watch a second of it, but I feel like, I mean, Wake Forest has a bad defense, but their offense is actually explosive. I think I said something, but
Sam Hartman, 3,163 yards, 30 touchdowns to 8.
Have you seen the show QB1?
I have not seen the show QB1.
Oh, he was on that.
To see it. Okay.
He was on that. In Justin Fields' season, he was on it. He was like a 3-star. He ranked in the thousands, and he ended up starting as a freshman at Wake Forest. And now he's borderline having like a Heisman season.
Sounds like it. And then A.T. Perry, 47 catches for 918 yards and 11 touchdowns this year.
He's a Blitnikoff award.
He definitely should be up there with
Chris Olave,
Ohio State receivers, and Jameson Williams. Those are the
Olave actually is the only Ohio State receiver that's a semifinalist.
Did not know that.
And then Jameson Williams.
I think touchdown catches is probably the biggest thing when
it is the biggest thing, as well as production from previous years. And every other team thinks like Chris Olave is the best receiver on the team, which I mean maybe he is. I mean, there's
people might be trying to shadow and double him and stuff like that. So that's why some guys are able to get open and stuff. But yeah. So we got Clemson on upset watch. You got Baylor on upset watch. We'll do a couple picks here. Let's see. Let's just go to the game that we were talking about a minute ago, Oregon versus Utah. What do you think your prediction final score is going to be for that?
I'm actually going to go with 30-20 Oregon.
30-20 Oregon.
I feel like I'm the only one picking Oregon, but I'm hearing upset so much that it's like not an upset. I mean, it isn't an upset technically, but
yeah, Utah is actually favored by 3.
So Oregon upsets Utah. I just feel like Oregon hears all this. They're going to be prepared. This isn't one of those sneaky upsets.
Yeah.
And I think they win.
Okay. I gotcha. I'll go on ahead and say that I'll go with the upset. I'll ride with the upset rankings wise. I'm going to go with Utah. I think Utah's going to win this 26-23. I think it'll be an overtime, though. So I think it'll be one of those it'll end up being a very late night game when it comes to long, drawn out. It starts at 7:30, but you know what it is. You know how the West Coast is. Then we roll up to the 3:30 game. We're working our way backwards. Arkansas, Alabama. We kind of know how this is going to go. I'll give off mine. Bama should win this. I'm going to say 45-10.
I think Bryce Young keeps himself in the Heisman conversation with 4 TDs, passing, 1 rushing, 350 total yards. And I think Alabama wins it 48-17.
Okay.
Domination.
So right around the same area there. And then
obviously I was thinking about 30.
Obviously, yeah. And obviously the big one here, Michigan State, Ohio State, 9-1s, 12 p.m. games on ABC. Wanted to let you know that. Yeah, that's something. College game day, Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit, 7-4, big one.
It's not big noon.
It's not big noon, actually. It's noon, but it ain't big noon. No, it's on ABC. Big noon's actually given to Iowa State and Oklahoma.
Ridiculous.
You did, yeah. They actually caught me.
They're giving us Gus Johnson and Joe Klatt. They're going to give us those idiots that I don't like that much.
Yes, they are going to give us those guys. Yes, they're giving us Fowler and Herbstreit. That's why I sent that picture of Herbstreit earlier in Columbus. So there you go. That's kind of what correlated to that.
Chris Fowler is the same guy that called Jamar Chase Justin Jefferson about 50 times in the national championship 2 years ago.
Well, that makes me pissed now.
Yeah, he did about 50.
That's pissing me off now. But
yeah.
That's another story for another day when it comes to myself. What's your prediction overall for this game, score-wise?
Ohio State, Michigan State. You asked me the score. So I think that Ohio State will try to run the ball early because for some reason Ryan Day just loves to take away like the strength of the defense at the beginning to open up
and impose the will.
Yeah, like against Penn State, we passed the ball like every play to start the game because they were the best pass defense in the Big Ten, and trying to take away a little bit of their rhythm on that side. But so I think we'll run it a little bit to start. But we'll obviously pass against the worst pass defense in the nation.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that he'll be able to connect on a few TDs. I think Chris Olave ties the record this week with a touchdown. I don't think he breaks it. I think he'll break it eventually. And then I think I don't know. I feel like Jackson Smith and Jibba gets guarded a little bit this game. Still has a few catches for sure because he always will. But I feel like Garrett Wilson, again, will have a nice game. I think overall our offense will roll. And I think we win at like 28-27. We win 11 points.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go on ahead. I believe Ohio State will win this game. I'm going to go with they score. I'm not going to give much analysis into this. Just kind of going off my mind right here. I'm going to go on ahead and say 31-23. I think Ohio State will have a nice kind of cushion, but then Michigan State will make an attack, and then Ohio State will score again, and then they'll end up winning. They'll end up winning overall by 8. So 31-23 is my score for that.
I like it.
Yep.
Who do you think is a big game?
Big game wise, I feel
Bryson Shaw 3 picks.
Huh?
Bryson Shaw with 3 picks.
Oh, totally. Jeez. I feel like I'm gonna go ahead and say the guy that gave us a wristband on defense is gonna have a big game. Taraji Mitchell. I think he's gonna play pretty well in the middle. Yep, mine's upstairs. I'm gonna say he has 12 tackles.
I hope so because he's been a little slow this season. I won't lie.
But I think I have the feeling and the power in that wristband that he will wake up
against the Heisman, against one of the Heisman favorites too.
I think he's gonna wake up. So,
I'm gonna go on defense. I'm gonna go with Cameron Brown, the corner. He does a great job on Jaden Reid, and I think Denzel Burke does a good job too. But I think Cameron Brown will have we'll have a pick. Okay. And then I think on offense, our offensive player of the game is going to be CJ Stroud. I won't pick a receiver. I'm going to say the QB does a really nice job getting it to his playmakers.
All right. I think Jeremy Ruckert's going to score a touchdown this week.
Hopefully. I have
a feeling he will. I have a feeling he's going to score a touchdown this week. I think he's going to score a 25-yard touchdown in the seam.
Ooh. Oh, I'd like to see a seam touchdown from him.
Yes, I have a feeling
we haven't seen that true seam touchdown from him since that one-handed catch against Wisconsin in the Big Ten title 2 years ago.
Yep.
So hopefully,
I think it's going to happen.
We know he has great hands. He's made multiple highlight reel catches in his career. This year, he's had some hard catches, but he normally makes that he's been dropping this year.
Yep.
He's still a good tight end, but I think it's a good prediction for you for sure because he's bound to make some good plays this year.
One of these times, he's bound to do something very well. We're going to translate from college football into the NFL. Right now, the Patriots are beating the Falcons 3-0 in the first quarter. Once we're done with this show, I'm going to go upstairs, turn off the lights, and just watch that game until I crash on the couch after doing.
I wonder if the Falcons will score 28 straight.
I really hope they do. I really want to see memes. I want to see more memes. There's already a lot out right now.
There's already a lot.
There's already a lot right now, but I just want to see just added fuel to the fire.
Have you seen more about that or the 3-1 Golden State lead more? I don't know. Probably.
Well, they combined a couple together though.
Because it's 31.
Yeah, come join us and stuff like that. They've done that, but Man, that's actually good. I think I've seen a lot. I think I've seen a little more 3-1 leads.
Yeah,
Over.
because it was more. I feel like that's just a little more embarrassing because it's literal games.
It's more. It's more embarrassing, and it's a little more relevant since a lot of sports are not in that one and done format. A lot of them are actually in the series and stuff like that. When you come to baseball and basketball and
right,
NBA and
baseball, they talk about it.
So that's what I feel like. When it comes to the NFL, though, looking at Sunday's games. I think I highlighted 5 games to look at. So 1 o'clock early game, I like the Colts Bills matchup. The Colts have been pretty hot lately. So definitely watch out for them. I'm going to preview that game in just a moment. So Colts Bills, looking down, Packers Vikings. It's going to be a division rival up there in Minneapolis to look out for. Then hopping down to the 4 o'clock games, you got Bengals Raiders. I'll be stressing that entirely on Sunday. That is a huge game for both teams. I can't even stress that enough. And then Cowboys Chiefs 7-2 versus 6-4 on Fox. Joe Buck and Troy Aikman on the call from Kansas City on that. Sunday Night Football, you got Steelers Chargers. The Steelers 5-3-1 after tying to the Lions last week, and the Chargers 5-4 after dropping to the Vikings. So start up with the Colts and the Bills game right here. Kind of go through some stats. Carson Wentz this year, 212 of 334, 2,378 yards. This is a surprise though. People always talk about Wentz being injury prone and just throwing picks. 17 touchdowns to 3 interceptions this year.
Not bad at all.
17-3. That's actually that's one of the best touchdown to interception ratios in the league this year. When it comes to that many passes and stuff like that. And then they have tied for the league leading rusher with Derrick Henry, who hasn't played in 2 weeks. 2 or 3 weeks. Jonathan Taylor, 161 carries, 937 yards, and 9 touchdowns this year. It's obviously evident that the Colts are trying to get it done on the ground, and that Carson Wentz is, trying to just make enough plays to win games, only averaging 238 yards passing a game. They rely on Jonathan Taylor heavy. Michael Pittman Jr., 55 catches for 729 yards and 5 touchdowns on the year, has been a very reliable target these last 2 years. And then looking at the Bills on the other side, Josh Allen, 230 of 347, 2,602 yards, 19 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Devin Singletary, 80 carries for 398 and 2 touchdowns. And Stephon Diggs has had a little bit of a down year when it comes to 56 receptions, 750 yards, and 4 touchdowns, but it also doesn't help when you're getting double teamed. Looking at this game, the Bills are first place in their division. Obviously, the Patriots are playing tonight. That's actually a very close race right now, closer than anyone expected. So the Bills, they got to keep winning to keep ahead of the pack right there. The Colts, they're a good 3 games back of the Titans. They're at the 10 slot right now, but in the AFC, Lord knows who's going to be those 3 wildcard teams. Anything can happen. Looking at the 5 seed to the 12 seed, it's split by a game and a half. It is crazy this year. It is really just packed down and jammed. And then division leaders though, Chiefs 6-4, Ravens 6-3, Bills 6-3. So basically the number 2 team through the number 12 team are separated by a game and a half.
Jeez.
Yeah, talk about depth in the AFC. Anyone can fall like that. Cincinnati was number 1 in week 7 and we're number 9 in week 10. So but then we could move up to 5 by the end of the week.
What's Pittsburgh at right now?
They're at 5 right now because of the tie. The tie actually helped them out a little bit instead of being at a 625 or a 5.
This is the Steelers' bad team, the bad one.
Oh my God, dude! I'm just gonna say they're not that good. They're not that good. They're not
that good. They're like the most decent. They're like the most average team possible. But
seriously, it honestly drives me nuts that teams are not beating them.
Yeah, it's because they're so average.
They're well coached, though. That's the thing.
They are well coached.
They're well coached. That's the reason why they're in these games and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and then or just some other coaches are just cynical dumbasses at times. So but man, that honestly grinds my gears.
TJ Watt helped too. He's been the driver.
They have some good players.
Some good players. Defensively, offensively. I mean, there's a rising star at running back. He's definitely going to be good.
Oh yeah,
the wide receiver core is solid.
Yeah,
could be better.
Yeah, but just looking through that, we'll talk about the Steelers in a little bit when it comes to them playing the Chargers. But the Bills, I mean, they lost the Jags 9-6 2 weeks ago. People were like, "Oh, are the Jets gonna maybe give the Bills a run for their money?" And the Bills said, "Hell no!" And they went out there 45-17 and basically retired Mike White. Any Hall of Fame accusations that he could have. So the Bills. It seems as though the Bills are back to business, and they have. I want to look at this though. They have 2 games. When it comes to Sunday, they have a game Sunday and they have a game next Thursday. 2 big games against teams that are 500 or better. They play the Colts. The Colts are really looking for something as well, trying to stay ahead in that really thick AFC playoff race. And then on Thursday, the Bills travel to New Orleans and they play the Saints on Thanksgiving night. So Josh Allen's really going to have to buckle down and make enough plays against the Colts and then make some big plays against the Saints.
Yep.
So that's really what's going on there. The Bills are going to throw the ball very well. That's what they did last year against the Colts in the playoff game. Josh Allen just made enough plays to get their team just over the top. So that's some thoughts right there when it comes to that game. Going down the trail, Packers Vikings. Is it just me or the Vikings? Like the Vikings can be a very dangerous football team.
They can be. I mean, they got weapons. They got a lot of weapons, honestly.
Yeah, they've got some pretty good weapons. Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, KJ Osborne, Kirk Cousins is playing well this year. 18 touchdowns to 2 interceptions. Dalvin Cook, yards wise, isn't doing bad. Touchdown production isn't so great, but I mean, I don't know if any time was their time, it's now. Like to make a push for the wild card, because the NFC, aside from the top 5 or 6 teams in there, that 7 line is wide. It is wide open.
What? Yeah. Yep.
So, I mean, looking at Kirk Cousins, 24-34, 2,434 yards passing, 18 touchdowns to 2 interceptions. If they were not 4 and 5, he would be in the MVP conversation, in my opinion. But Vikings defense is all right. Nothing too spectacular. I don't think the secondary is really that great. Pass rush isn't bad. Linebackers are probably their strong suit when it comes to that. And then their receiving core is their strong suit on offense, getting the ball out to guys in space and stuff like that. Kirk Cousins running the play action game pretty well and stuff like that. They're, Justin Jefferson working a lot out of the slot, and he's also working a little bit outside too. So just trying to develop his game as a receiver. But then a guy who already has developed this game and is taking it to new heights, Devontae Adams on the other side of things, 65 catches, 864 yards, and 3 touchdowns for him. And he's got Aaron Rodgers throwing the ball, 2,186 yards, 17 touchdowns to 4 interceptions this year. And then they're going to miss Aaron Jones for at least 2 or 3 games. A.J. Dillon, the man with the big quads, not named Saquon Barkley, taking his spot. I will say, man, this is also A.J. Dillon's time to shine as well. I mean, if think about it, he's been in the league for not too long. Give him opportunity and stuff like that, and maybe they can give him some more carries and stuff like that, and they can save Aaron Jones a little longer, and they can have them both fresh by the time the playoffs start and stuff like that. So, and that's normally what the good teams do. Like, they kind of find their niche when it comes to running the football overall. And then it's not just one workhorse trying to get things done. If a team's trying to make it to the Super Bowl, it's a 1-2 punch. And the Packers could do it. Their defense is playing pretty good football right now. They're playing really good on the back end, even though they don't have Jari Alexander. They got Stokes. I believe
that's the rookie, right? Or is it?
I'm not sure actually. I think that's let's see. Yeah, Stokes is playing on the back. I think it's Eric Stokes, I believe.
He's from Georgia.
Yes, he is from Georgia. Yeah, I think he is. I think he is the rookie. Yeah, he is. Yes, he is a rookie.
9.
He's playing some good football this year, especially in coverage. And
honestly, shocks me. He sucked at Georgia, like in my eyes, but he ran a 4.29 at the combine, which just kind of not the combine, but at his what's it called?
Yeah, he's pro day. Yeah, and he keeps up with guys pretty well. And then Rasul Douglas, who's been in the league for a bit. And then you look at on the back end, you got Adrian Amos, and then you got Darnell Savage. So the Packers secondary has really held it down without Jari Alexander overall.
Yeah, they have.
And then I'm not going to mention Kevin King, but that's another story. He literally gifted the Buccaneers a trip to the Super Bowl, and we're not going to talk about that.
He's the reason.
Yes, he is. He is the big reason right there. But yeah, like the Packers secondary has been really the big talk overall when it comes to their success on defense. They've been getting it done on offense in different ways, but defensively they've just been winning games this season. That's how they beat the Cardinals. But yeah, I think the Packers got to keep things rolling, especially if Aaron Jones out. They've found different ways to win football games, and especially I believe their bye is coming up. When is their bye? Their bye is actually pretty late. It's after the Rams game, which is next Sunday. So just keep things rolling going through the Rams game, and I think the Packers are going to be fine. So that's Packers Vikings. We'll go through picks in just a moment. Now this game, thought about this a little bit. As a fan, I've stressed it quite a bit as well. Bengals Raiders. The Bengals are actually favored by Vegas in Vegas by 1. 405, 5-4 versus 5-4. Looking at the numbers, Joe Burrow, 195, a 286, 2,497 yards, 20 touchdowns. Yay, 11 interceptions. Fuck. Because I'll talk about that in just a moment. We're just walking through stats again. Joe Mixon, 150 for 636 and 7 touchdowns. Jamar Chase, 44 catches, 835 yards and 7 touchdowns. Derek Carr on the other end, 235 at 347, 2,826 yards, 15 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Josh Jacobs, 80 carries, 296, 5 touchdowns. Hunter Renfrow, 52 receptions, 494, and 4 touchdowns. Back to Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's trying to force things too much. That's just what it is. He's trying to. I mean, I get it. He's a quarterback. He's a playmaker. He's not one of those game managing type of quarterbacks. He's a guy that's going to put the team on his back and win games and stuff like that.
He does take shots. He does.
But he's gotta understand, especially on some, last year he would pick apart defenses over the middle of the field because, they would play some soft zone and stuff like that. And he'd have guys like Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins that were able to find spaces in some of the route concepts that they were able to run last year. They ran them pretty well. And Joe Burrow was just able to stand back there, take some hits and, dial it over the middle and just, keep drives producing and going. Cincinnati, they haven't had a problem moving the ball on anybody, I'd say, this year. Other than the Chicago game until late, I still think Cincinnati has had pretty good success offensively this entire season.
I agree.
When it comes to moving the ball, they're not that offense that's gaining 400 yards a game and putting up 35 points a game. None of those electric offenses like that. But honestly, they've been kind of consistent though. Like up through the Jets and the Browns game. I mean, still against the Jets, put up 31 points. They still move the ball. Joe Burrow, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. He did that 3 games in a row, 3 touchdowns to 1 pick. But it's just there's times where Joe Burrow's trying to make a play, and it's just a dumb throw. It really is a dumb throw. He's trying to fit a ball into a tight window and stuff like that. Like, the 2 picks against the Browns. Obviously, like we talked about that little, I think it was that little like 3-yard, with Denzel Ward and stuff like that. That little 3-yard out route that they ran. I still think that was a dumb play call, especially to the short side of the field on 3rd and goal. Like you already know that the ball's going to go to your number 1 target, Jamar Chase and stuff like that. And Joe Burrow's already he's already reviewed all that stuff. I'm not going to doubt him at all as a player and stuff like that. I know he's going to bounce back, but I mean, I'm going to, as a fan, I'm not just going to just let it slide, But I mean, I'm looking at it, man. He cleans up his turnovers, and Cincinnati's defense, they get back to that game plan of, sending pressure here and there and not just being such a predictable defense. And guys are able to, gang tackle and stuff like that. Cincinnati's a playoff team.
Yeah.
They're a playoff team if they get back to that stuff. What the first 7 weeks Cincinnati Bengals that we saw was a playoff team.
I'd say so.
That was a playoff team right there. And what if it starts Sunday? The new season starts Sunday. This is a 0-0 Cincinnati Bengals team. We're gonna have to see what they've done in the bye to improve and stuff like that, and what they're gonna bring out and all. Joe Mixon, other than that Vikings game, had 129 rushing yards, but he hasn't had a day like that in a minute. They got him going against Cleveland and all that, but that was because Joe Burrow was playing rough and Jamar Chase was playing pretty rough. Chase overall this season has had a very fantastic season and should be the rookie of the year front runner, but there's a guy named Mac Jones who's tearing it up in New England right now. So it's kind of neck and neck now, I would say. But, just looking at Burrow and company, he's just got to clean up the turnovers and just, kind of just relax. Just relax. And I think our problems will be solved when it comes to that on the offensive end. Defensively, Raiders' offensive line isn't that great. It's not as good as it's been in the past. They're not a very good running football team. Derek Carr will take shots, though. He'll take untimely shots. He'll take timely shots. He just takes shots.
He does.
But, and then they also have the added factor to Deshaun Jackson, who I don't know what the hell he was doing on Sunday night when he caught that deep ball, but hopefully he still doesn't know what the hell he's doing when it comes to this week if we give up a deep pass like that. But that's beyond the fact that's when it comes to a fan. But Hunter Renfrow, though, I do want to watch out for him, though. 52 catches when it comes to 10 games and 9 games actually. So I think his production's still going to keep going up without Henry Ruggs on the field and everything. So I will keep an eye when it comes to the Raiders offense like that. Defensively, the Chiefs basically picked them apart. The Bengals are not the Chiefs when it comes to offense, when it comes to both of their potentials right now, because the Chiefs have shown their potential time in and time out, and Cincinnati hasn't really done that just yet. They haven't reached their full potential on offense. So that will be a conversation for another day when it comes. This is the top game of the week. Cowboys-Chiefs. 425 Fox. I mean, this is a big game.
Yeah, it's a nice matchup. Entertaining.
Yes, it is. And you got America's team versus basically the team that replaced the Patriots the last couple of years.
Yeah, with the best QB, just
everybody's watching them. This is literally where you get your popcorn ready to watch these guys, the Chiefs play.
Yeah, they're the main team everyone wants to likes watching. I feel like
I would say so too.
Just overall, I'm not saying like me, but just really overall,
just as America as a whole, this is what the TV companies and the marketing want. They want the Chiefs on TV. And they've got the Chiefs playing America's team, and America's team led by Dak Prescott, 20 touchdowns to 5 interceptions this year. The man was playing pretty good football last week against the Falcons when they routed them. And then Ezekiel Elliott's been getting stuff going, especially with Tony Pollard as a second back, though. I don't want early in the season, I was hearing stuff on how Tony Pollard was a better back than Zeke. I don't want to hear that ever again. I don't. They're different styles. They're different styles of running backs. Tony Pollard is a little more explosive and stuff like that. I will say they just play different styles. Though.
He is now, yeah.
Yeah, but Zeke back his rookie year and all that stuff. It was arguably the best back in football. But
and Zeke, right now he's still really good. Yeah.
Yeah. Zeke 142 carries, 663 yards, and 7 touchdowns. So he's obviously producing pretty well. He's reliable when it comes to running the football. And then here's a reliable receiver when it comes to receiving. They have 2 of them, but here's their leading guy. CeeDee Lamb, 47 catches for 726 yards and 6 touchdowns. And obviously you can't forget about Amari Cooper. And Amari Cooper normally shows up in big games. So, and this is a huge game when it comes to Sunday for both teams on both sides of the ball. Patrick Mahomes, though, in 10 games is throwing the ball on average of 41 times a game. 2,940 yards passing, 25 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, had the most interceptions in the league for a good few weeks, but now is giving that title to Joe Burrow. Fuck. Then you got Damien Williams. He
actually has
Daryl Williams. Sorry, I got Damien Williams because he played in 20.
Oh, because they both,
But then, Daryl Williams, 95 carries, only 95 carries in 10 games. They don't run the football a lot. 343 yards and 4 touchdowns. And then Tyreek Hill's had a pretty good season, 75 catches for 855 yards and 8 touchdowns. But can't forget about Travis Kelce, who is a receiver playing tight end. That's just all I'm gonna say.
He really is.
Dude's a big 6'6" target playing receiver, and he just moves so smooth and all that. But yeah, this is gonna be an offensive just showcase. Will Trayvon Diggs get an interception on Patrick Mahomes? Yeah, I think. But I think Mahomes will throw 3 touchdowns. I'm not going to give away my prediction right there, but just kind of glossing over games like that. And then the last one, Steelers-Chargers, the Sunday Night Football game. Al and Chris on the call for that. Ben Roethlisberger this year, 1,986 yards, 10 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. Is he playing this week?
I have no idea. That's what I was about to say. Like, I'm not sure if he'll even play.
I'm not sure because 2 days ago, Coach Mike Tomlin said that Ben Roethlisberger does not need to practice this week in order to play on Sunday's road game versus the Chargers, The Athletic reports. So I'm not entirely sure. I'll kind of keep my stance away from that when it comes to that. And then TJ Watt did not participate in practice on Wednesday per the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. So we'll definitely keep an eye on that. Probably stuff's been updated today since they had practice on Thursday, and then we'll get a good look of it on Friday. It's the main focal point though is Najee Harris, 176 carries, 646 yards, 4 touchdowns, top rookie in the league. Should finish top. I would say top 3 in rookie of the year voting.
Yeah, it's probably him, Mac, and then Jamar. Like all 3 will be the top 3. Probably the other 2 will be 1 and 2.
Najee's top 3, and he's 3. It's normally top 3, but he's not 2 or 3. He's top 3, but he's 3. He's 3. He's 3. Deontay Johnson, 52 catches, 613 yards, and 3 touchdowns. He's a good receiver. I'm not gonna lie. Deontay Johnson, he's not a bad receiver. He's a good deep threat. He's developing on his game a good amount, stuff like that. I just remember some times where I've heard some Steelers fans actually tell me that he is better than Jamar Chase.
I wouldn't say that.
Which is I get it. Okay, he's played in the league a little longer and Jamar Chase is a rookie, but that is actually that was a very laughable statement right now. And I'm not gonna throw this guy under the bus, but god damn, that was an awful take.
I think he's the second best receiver in the division. I honestly do. But I don't think
Okay.
I don't think he's better than Jamar Chase.
You put him over Hollywood?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hollywood is like people talk about.
I saw Hollywood one game and Deontay Johnson didn't play against us, so I haven't really, and I haven't really watched a lot of Steelers games this year. But from what I've seen in Deontay Johnson, he's
electric.
He's been pretty. Yeah, he's an electric.
He honestly won some games for us. Like Ben will throw like a little I don't know, can't even tell what route. It's like a slant, like little tiny check down.
Ben loves quick. They love quick game now.
They do.
Loves quick game. They got away from.
Ben really can't move like he used to.
They got away from old Steeler football, running the ball and play action. They're just running quick game and pitches to Najee. So
which can work because Deontay is able to make plays in quick game. I would definitely put him over like Jarvis Landry and any Browns receiver for sure. I wouldn't put him over Chase.
DPJ for Cleveland's pretty good though. He's a pretty good receiver.
He went to the wrong school in college. He screwed himself.
Oh yes, he did. Yes,
he a 6th round pick instead of a probably 2nd at least, like he should have been.
Mm-hmm. Yep. We'll talk. But DPJ though, they play on Sunday Night Football next week. Though they play the Lions this week, play on Sunday Night Football against the Ravens next week. That's going to be a big week, Week 12 for the AFC North, and we're going to have some very heated discussions next in 2 episodes next Thursday. Well, next Thursday's Thanksgiving, so That weekend, we're going to have some heated discussions. Justin Herbert for the Chargers, 2,545 yards, 19 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. I love how everybody was like literally hyping this man to be the MVP, and he's kind of just fizzled off right now.
He's fizzled off a little bit.
He's fizzled off, and I'm not throwing hate at him or anything like that. Justin Herbert's a very good quarterback. He's really good. Really good, really talented young quarterback, big arm, able to move in the pocket, able to run as well, find receivers down. He's a good quarterback, and him and Joe Burrow are the future and all that from the class of 2020. Not sliding him at all, but yeah, he really has. I'm not going to say fallen off a cliff, but he's gone down a step or so. Austin Eckler out of the backfield, 112 carries for 523 yards and 5 touchdowns. And Keenan Allen this year, 65 catches for 698 yards and 2 touchdowns, literally averaging 10.5 yards a catch. Route concepts is the issue there, but trying to be named a top receiver, I don't think that's going to do a whole lot for you. He is averaging about 7 catches a game, to keep in mind. That means he is on pace for about 100 and actually, let me do the math real quick because my brain is not working right now. 65 divided by 9 right there, 7.2. And in 17 games, he's on pace for 122 catches this season for 1,200 yards. But never mind. Route concepts are a good thing for him. But yeah, so that's your Sunday Night Football game. We're going to roll through these picks here real quick. My pick before this game was the Patriots, and I think it's looking pretty good right now because the Patriots are up 10-0 with 4:07 to go in the second quarter. They're up 10-0 on the Falcons.
10-0 now?
Yep, 10-0. So back in that one pretty well. We'll go down a list here, and we will hop off in just a few minutes. Colts Bills. We talked about this one earlier. I'm going to go on ahead and say the Bills are going to get this victory. It's going to be 24-17. Brady, what is your pick?
I'm going to go Bills 28-14.
All right. They are favored by 7 points, so I think it looks like I literally took the 7 points right there, and the Bills are going over right there. Ravens Bears, 6-3 Ravens, 3-6 Bears. Jim Nantz, Tony Romo on the call from Chicago in the Windy City. Justin Fields, 3-6, but Fields has been growing and playing well as an individual, and the Bears seem as though that they're starting to click on the offensive side of the ball. 1:00 CBS. Brady, I'm going to give you the pick first. What do you think is going to happen?
The Ravens will probably win because the Bears cannot play call. They can't block, and their receivers don't get open. Their offense basically sucks. Fields' running ability has really been huge for them lately, getting first downs that they can't get. And he's also against the Steelers. He was actually lighting up like tight windows where nobody got open, but he didn't. He was literally just putting it like.
Especially moving to his left and throwing back, he was moving to his left and throwing pretty well, especially like what could have been the game-winning touchdown. He had a nice pass over there, Darnell Mooney in the end zone.
That was a nice pass, yeah. Mm-hmm. But I'm gonna go Ravens like 31-20.
Okay, I'm gonna agree with you. I'm gonna go Ravens in this one. I think it'll be 24-13. I think the Bears will hang around for a bit, but Justin Fields, I think, is going to be in for a long day since the Ravens, since they don't have really a premier pass rusher, they tend to send a lot of safety blitzes and corner blitzes and all that. And I think the Bears are not going to be able to pick up those blitzes, especially with some of their tackles. So I think Fields is in for a long day, but I think Fields is going to he's in for a long day when it comes to sacks and pressure. But I do think he'll make some plays out of nothing on Sunday. Lions Browns on Sunday, 1:00 on Fox. Cleveland's favored by 11.5 points right there. I really want Detroit to win because, golly, I don't like the Browns. I will say it publicly right now, but I'll keep my analysis normal. I think the Browns are going to end up winning this game. I think it's going to be 27-13. Detroit's just not a good football team. They're really not. And it hurts because, I like to see Detroit do well, especially from what all they've been through and what all their fans have been through. Yeah. And I literally live with one, my brother. So But yeah, I think it's gonna be 27-13. Browns in this one.
Yeah, I don't even have a score. I'll bet the Browns will win. It's hard to predict against Detroit, like the score, because you could predict a blowout because they're terrible. But I'll just go the Browns by like 10.
Yeah, it's weird. Detroit plays some teams pretty hard. Though they played the Ravens hard, they played the Vikings hard, they played the Steelers hard, they played the Rams hard as well. So I mean, they've played some teams pretty tough this year, but it's just obviously just stuff doesn't bounce the right way, like the Week 3 field goal by Justin Tucker. Unfortunate. Right. Texans Titans though, that's in Nashville. 1:00 CBS. Titans favored by 10.5 right there, and I'm gonna go with the over on this one. Titans are gonna win this one handily. I think it's gonna be 35 to. I'm gonna go 35-14 in this one.
24-16 Titans.
Okay, closer. All right. Yeah, all right. I see. I'm not gonna disagree with it because I do see the Titans. They don't have Derrick Henry or anything like that, but I do think the Titans will kind of get things going, and Ryan Tannehill will have himself a feel-good game when it comes to throwing the football and all. So that's kind of how I feel. And I think I watched maybe one Texans game this year, which was a Thursday night football game. Not impressed.
Yeah, I don't watch
for a reason. So, we'll see a little more of the Texans some other time. Packers Vikings. We talked about this game as well earlier. 8-2 versus 4-5. The Packers are only favored by 1.5. Man, this is actually a tough one to pick. I'm actually going to go with the Vikings. I think the Vikings are going to take that step. I think they're going to take that step, and they're going to be gearing toward, okay, it's time to get on a win streak. And I think they're going to do that on Sunday. They beat the Chargers last week. I think they've gained some momentum. The Packers are without Aaron Jones. Patrick Peterson's coming off of IR. Harrison Smith's back. The Vikings offense is playing pretty electric. Kirk Cousins has done well. Aaron Rodgers didn't play too great last week. Do I feel like he's going to bounce back to an extent? Yes, I feel like he will. But I think the presence of Aaron Jones is going to be missed quite a bit. They're going to run the football a bit with A.J. Dillon, but really once if the Vikings are able to stop the run, which they've been so-so with it, then I think the Vikings are going to air the football, and I think they're going to be all right. I think they're going to find some holes in the Packers defense, especially up in the front seven, and hit some stuff across the middle with Justin Jefferson. I'm going to go Vikings in this one. I'm going to go 23-20.
Yeah, I'm going to go Vikings as well. I'm going to go with 28-21.
Yeah, I just have that feeling. This is a weird middle November game. Packers, I don't think they're going to overlook the Vikings. They have a big game against the Rams the week after, but I just feel like this is a game the Vikings win, though. This is just one of those games where the Vikings aren't going to let this opportunity slip to get back in the wild card spot. So we do agree on that one with the Vikings. Dolphins, Jets, 3-7 versus 2-7 from New York, Gotham City, 1 p.m. CBS. Dolphins are favored by 3. I'm going to triple that right there. Dolphins are going to win this game by 9. Give me 26-17 Dolphins.
Yeah, I'm going to go with a nice 24-17 Dolphins.
I feel like the Dolphins are that team that literally dug themselves a hole, and I'm not going to be surprised if we're sitting here in a couple of weeks in like week 14 or whatever, and they're sitting at 6-7.
Yeah,
like they play themselves so far into a hole, and then it's like, oh my God, they're 6-7, but then just for them to fall apart again. I think they're the team that would totally do that.
So, no, I do. I agree.
And I feel like this is literally the start of it happening because I want to look at the Dolphins scheduled here real quick. 3-7 right now, and they win. They play the Panthers against Cam Newton, but it's in Miami. Then they play the Giants. Then they play the Jets again. Literally, they could win their next 4 games. They could win 3 of their next 4 games.
They could.
That's crazy to think right now.
Sure.
They very well could. Because the Panthers are beatable. The Panthers have a good defense, but then, they're starting Cam Newton. But Cam Newton will probably try to get in somewhat of a groove. But if they beat the Jets, they roll in playing the Panthers because they beat the Texans and the Ravens before, and they get on that bit of a winning streak and they beat the Giants at home. They could be 6-7, and this could be one of those times where the Dolphins creep back in and then they just fall right back out of the playoff race. So I feel like that's just what's going to happen. That's what I see normally every year.
Yep.
Saints, Eagles, 1 o'clock. That's on Fox. Eagles are favored by 2. Saints have dropped 2 tough ones. 2 very tough ones, and I think the Saints will end up bouncing back from this one. I think they're going to win off a field goal, though.
Yeah, I think
I'm going to go 17-14, low-scoring game.
I'll go 21-17 Saints.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I mean, I think Philadelphia had a nice win last week against the Broncos. I think it's going to be short-lived. Devonta Smith's coming into his own as a receiver. I did want to mention that Jalen Waddle has had a very nice season as well. Just nothing super explosive. He's been a very good security blanket for Brissett and Tua. But Devonta Smith honestly just went off last week, and I think that trend's going to continue, and he's going to keep playing some very well football. Just a little too late for his rookie of the year campaign. Washington in Carolina. This is Riverboat Ron versus Cam Newton in his first start back as a Panther in Carolina at Charlotte. Fox, Carolina's favored 3.5. Ron Rivera's back. Washington coming off the big win against Tampa. The Panthers coming off the big win against the Cardinals. Panthers win is more valuable than the Washington win, so I'm going to go with the Panthers.
Yeah, I'm going to go Panthers.
I'm going to say let me think. I'm going to go 31-17. I think the Panthers are going to put some points on the board.
Yeah, I'm going to go 27-14.
See, the Washington played pretty well last week overall, so they got the dub against the defending Super Bowl champions, but they're going to really, really miss Chase Young. They're really going to miss him. Even though he didn't have, only a sack and a half this year, but teams were doubling him and stuff like that.
He was disrupting the game a lot more. Yeah. And plus, he forced some fumbles on some runs and stuff.
Yeah, and we talked about that before. So, I mean – but I think they're really going to miss him just not having the presence on the field.
Yeah.
Rolling in down to Duval. 49ers are 4-5, coming off a big win, but a big and marginal victory against the Rams. And then the Jaguars at 2-7. I think the Niners keep this thing rolling. They're favored by 6.5. Game's on Fox. So I think the Niners are going to win this one. Give me 21-10. No, 21-7.
I'm going to go – I like your original score of 21-10. Okay. I think 21-10.
All right. Yeah. I don't think it's going to be anything too complex or anything like that. Just kind of a basic score, and the Niners are going to play some good defense, and hopefully Deebo Samuel can get me some points. Yeah. Bengals Raiders. Now, wow. I'll probably end up locking myself in a room for about an hour just thinking about this game, because this is a very, very big game. I'm going to ride with us. I think we're going to get a victory, and I think it's going to end up being 27-23. I think Joe Burrow is going to play cool. I think he's going to play calm, cool, and collective. I don't think he's going to have a huge day. I think it's going to be a 240, 2-touchdown performance.
A nice day.
A nice day. But I think Joe Mixon's going to have a big day. And I think that's going to be the key to us winning. I think he's going to have 20 plus carries. And I think he's going to run for 100 yards and a touchdown. So I'm going to go 27-23. I think it's going to be a very good game, close game. But I think the Bengals are going to try to get this ship going back in the right direction. I think we're going to win Sunday.
Yeah, I'm going to go Bengals. I'm going to go like 20-14 Bengals. I think they get the dub. And I think Joe Burrow plays a nice game, throws a touchdown to Chase, and then maybe
got to get his confidence back up.
Yeah, and I feel like he throws one to Joe.
He has confidence. Don't get me wrong. Sorry, what were you saying again?
I think he also throws one to Joe Mixon and Chase. I think he has two.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I feel all right. But yeah, I think he just got to – he has confidence. Joe Burrow is very confident, all right? He's not cocky, a little cocky, but confident, all right? That's what I want in a quarterback. Very confident quarterback. But I think it's just – he just needs to kind of relax a little bit more. If he relaxes a little bit more and plays confident, dangerous quarterback. I think after Lamar Jackson, our division, he's the most dangerous quarterback in the division. I think honestly, top 3 dangerous quarterback in the AFC when he plays like that. Yeah. I'm not trying to be that type of fanboy, but I think he actually is a very dangerous quarterback when he plays calm. When he plays relaxed but confident.
Yeah,
that's when he's most dangerous.
I agree. I think he's a very precise quarterback when he's playing calm and playing in a rhythm. He's very good in a rhythm.
Yep, I could totally agree with that. Big game, Cowboys Chiefs, talked about that as well. Chiefs favored by 2.5. I feel like there's going to be a lot of points in this one, which is why I want to look at that over-under real quick right now. I haven't really looked at that for some of these games. Over-under is 56. You want to go first with this?
Yeah, that's tough. I'm gonna go Chiefs. They put up a big day, 35-29.
I was thinking around that score, I'm gonna go Chiefs 34-30. I'm gonna literally go 1 point lower for the Chiefs and 1 point higher for the Cowboys. 34-30. I think it's gonna be a back and forth game. It's gonna come down to maybe not the last possession, but one of the last possessions of the game, like for a score. I think the Chiefs are going to get a big touchdown with about 4 minutes to go, and then Dak's going to drive downfield, but then the Chiefs are actually going to actually play some good defense and make a big play when they need to. So 34-30 right there. Cardinals, Seahawks. I think that's tough because if we both agreed on the Vikings beating the Packers, meaning if that was actually to happen, the Cardinals would be playing for first place in the NFC. They're favored by 2.5. Seahawks are 3-6. Russell Wilson looked rough last week. They didn't score anything, actually. The first time shutout in his 150th start. I think the Seahawks continue to struggle, and I think the Cardinals get a much-needed victory in Seattle, and I'm going to go with this score of 30-17.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Cardinals for sure. 27-14.
I felt this before the season started. I didn't think the Seahawks were going to be that good. I honestly didn't know. I didn't think that Russell Wilson was going to get hurt and be out this long. No. But I just thought the Seahawks were just going to kind of go off to a funky start and then just try to relay back from it, but just nothing really gets off the ground. So I felt that, and it's actually been coming to life this season. Steelers, Chargers, Sunday Night Football. Chargers are favored by 6. By 6, actually. That's actually kind of surprising considering circumstances. In this one, I think the Chargers are going to get the victory. Justin Herbert's going to play a fine game. I don't know who the quarterback is going to be for the Steelers that night. If it's Mason Rudolph, that's an automatic L already. Ben Roethlisberger could also sell this game as well, but he could also play this game pretty well. Najee Harris obviously going to be the focal point. The Chargers are going to try to take him out of it. If no one's able to throw the ball to Deontay Johnson or any receiver like that, Pittsburgh's going to have absolutely no shot of winning. And if TJ Watt is not able to play, or if he's playing hurt, but it's all advantage to the Chargers. So I'm going to go 30-21 Chargers in this one. And it'll also help my ticket prices go up. Ticket prices for the Bengals-Chargers game that I'll be at. So that'll be nice.
Yeah, I'm going to go Chargers win it. It's going to be really low scoring. I'm going to go 17-10.
That also could happen. Yep, I could see it. And then Monday Night Football. Giants play the Bucks. Bucks are favored by 11 at home. ESPN. I'm going to take a look at the over-under on this, actually. Over-under is 49.5. I'm going to base this I'm going to go where it's at 50 total. I'm going to go with the Bucks by 13. So I have to do math now. Isn't that fantastic? You go on ahead and give your prediction while I think of this.
This stuff. I actually don't know. I'm gonna go Bucks 30-27. 24.
All right. Well, I did my math. 31-19 Bucks by
31.
12. 31-19 Bucks by 12. But yeah, that's those are the views this week in the NFL. I actually go back and review these to see how the picks were and how far off they were and how close they were, and we'll just make sound bites of that and just make us look like complete geniuses or complete doofuses.
Yep.
Yes, but that the Patriots score right now 13-0 at halftime. That game's on Fox and NFL Network. Go check that one out. Buck and Aikman on the call. That is it for the Cut the Chase Sports Podcast tonight. Thanks people for watching the show. Brady, thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Late night and all that stuff. Jake, hope you come back next week. Do well on that schoolwork. Need to do well on my schoolwork too. Just everybody do well on schoolwork.
Yeah.
That goes for everybody. I don't know. Who cares? But yep, for Brady King and Chase Yance on YouTube, Cut the Chase Sports Podcast. We'll see you guys on Tuesday.
Yep. We'll see you guys.